Welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. Wow, making YouTube videos can sometimes be really dangerous because you never know what kind of vicious creatures are out there, as you probably just saw. So anyways, let's go ahead and get into this episode, because today I want to talk about something that could be a very sensitive topic for a lot of creators out there, and that is this whole idea of free speech right here on YouTube. So when it comes to free speech, this could really mean a lot of different things depending upon where you live, depending upon your background, and obviously depending upon the type of ideas that you actually want to share. Because whenever you're starting out on YouTube, I think a lot of people really feel this is an awesome place for you to come to share whatever ideas that you want with other people around the world. And in general, that is true. However, not everything is going to be allowed on this platform. And so this is where we get into the whole very sensitive and complex subject of free speech. And so I'm going to give you some of my thoughts on some of the personal feelings that I have when it comes to being a content creator on YouTube, but also some of the more technical things or more objective things that I can think of when it comes to managing free speech on this platform. Now let's go ahead and start off with some of the general things that I think you can share and create here on YouTube. And even though this is a super complex area because there's so many different contents and ideas that you can put here on YouTube, in general, my feeling is if you are going to be creating your content and you're wondering which type of content is going to be okay for this platform, just imagine you watching television and then watching all the commercials while you're watching TV. And so if you can imagine that your content is going to be a commercial, it's going to be good to show on TV to people all around the world. And so that's the general principle that I use, because not only does it make sense, but also from a technical point of view, which I'll get into a little bit later, it really serves the platform if you look at it that way overall. So now let's talk about the type of content and ideas that could really put you in an area where, well, you could be kicked off the platform. And those two main categories are politics and religion. And so this is something that's going to be pretty much a standard for a lot of different platforms, especially nowadays in our modern climate. And so if you are going to be creating content here on YouTube, just understand that if you are going to be focusing on those two categories of content, that the likelihood of you running into problems, especially having censorship on the type of things that you could say, it's going to be there. And so that is something that is unavoidable, and there's really no easy answer for that. But at least in my opinion, if you want to avoid that altogether, then just don't make content in those two main categories. And so now you might be asking yourself, does this mean that I could only create family-friendly content and now I have to censor myself and who I am? Well, the shorter answer is mostly yes. Because whether you're here on YouTube or any other major internet platform, you're going to have to focus more on family-friendly content than not. That's why I used that example of TV commercials before. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't have content or ideas that are really successful that are outside of that, but more and more this is going to be more difficult in the long term, which leads me to the whole technical reasons why YouTube free speech is really not a thing, and going forwards in the future it's going to be even less of a thing. And it kind of makes sense when I think of it from a more technical, objective way. For serious YouTubers, check out TubeBuddy, the premier tool news at GeekOutdoors.com. Get more done today by checking out the affiliate link in the description area below. So now let's look at more of the technical reasons why YouTube free speech is really not free here on YouTube or practically any other platforms here on the internet. And so let's first look at how YouTube really works and how it's able to provide you all these free services, allowing you to get unlimited space and bandwidth through their platform. And so in general, the way YouTube works is you create the content. So this is user-generated content. And obviously the way it makes money is through ads, and the creators on this platform get paid through Google AdSense. And Google AdSense actually gets paid through Google Ads, which is the largest PPC search engine marketing platform in the world, which collects quite a bit of data to provide the best results for people paying to put ads on this platform. So that's really the general way that YouTube works. And obviously a lot of how they make their money is through traffic. So YouTube has the most traffic of any website right behind Google. And when it comes to a video website, it has more traffic than any other video site out there. And that's how the business end of YouTube works. That's how you're able to freely upload to this with unlimited storage and really fast servers. And so all of that wouldn't be possible if they didn't have this model and system available. And so with all of that being said, you could probably imagine that it's very expensive to keep all of these services running day in and day out. Just imagine you going out there and building your own YouTube, getting your own website, getting hosting, and dealing with all the traffic that you're going to get and everything else that comes along with that. It'll probably cost you thousands, if not millions of dollars per month to run this on your own. And so now let's look at the other huge cost when it comes to running YouTube, and that's all the people who work at YouTube and Google. There are like thousands of people working at Google all around the world, and all their partners as well. And so this really supplies an income for all the people who have jobs at these companies. And so obviously all of those people need to get paid so then they can take care of themselves and their family. And so you could see why having free speech on YouTube is not a simple matter, and it's more free-ish than it is free. And at the same time, you also have to consider a very big thing, and the fact that YouTube is a global entity. And so free speech in the United States could mean something completely different if you're in Europe or in your other Asian countries. And so this can be a very difficult thing. And so if you think about it technically, how would you handle all of this? How can you handle millions and millions of hours of content being uploaded practically every few minutes all around the world? This is actually mind-boggling. There's really no way humans could actually factor in all of those things. So that's why they have to rely on a lot of AI to take care of that. And in the end, it's gonna protect the overall business interests of YouTube and Google, and then allow it to keep running in a manner that will be sustainable for the long term. And so those are some of the biggest reasons why I really feel free speech on YouTube is free up to a point. And at the same time, it has to be that way because of all the things that I just mentioned a little bit earlier. And so those are my main thoughts on YouTube and free speech. I still feel YouTube is a wonderful platform, and I can't think of another video platform that gives you so much and so much exposure for free. And so if you actually did have any thoughts on this, be sure to leave that in the comments area below. And if you want to see more of my YouTube tutorials, tips, and thoughts, I do have a playlist. I'll leave that in the description area as well. So as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to share, like, and subscribe. Hey geeks, if you are a creative geek like me and you wanted to learn how to create content on YouTube and other places on the internet, then check out my Go Content Creators group, where you'll get access to additional videos and content for all the creative geeks out there. And the best part of it is, all of this is free. Simply head over to the link below, check out my page, and sign up for my Go Content Creators group. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the other side.